Good morning. Today is Friday, February 3rd, 2023. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Wudang Qigong. We have the advanced sets this morning. We're going to work on 3 sets. And we're going to work on 2 sets for sure, maybe 3. Stirring the grass to seek the snake, Coiling Snake, and Leopard climbs a tree, maybe. Alright, the goal for this morning is to have a test. I'm going to test my legs. I want to develop some skill in being able to work lower. I've talked about this in practice yesterday and with all of the Wudang basic methods, the 3 basic methods, that they do go all the way to the ground. And I have a gap, let's say, between where I am now and being able to get all the way down there. So how do I close that gap? That's one of the things we're going to work on this morning. Let's get started. I'm also going to make an announcement for this other stuff that I've been doing and stuff that I am going to continue to do. I've been late all week. Every class has started late. I had been late, a couple of weeks. I'm here, and I talked about that at length because it matters that you keep coming back. It matters. Distractions happen. This happens, that happens. Am I going to skip class entirely? I have to make that decision, right? I have to decide. I'm not going to teach today. I'm not going to do this today. I don't do that very often. I'll put it off a little bit. I'll just wait. No. I'm going to practice. Maybe I'm going to just do a little bit. But I'm do whatever I'm going to do. Whatever I decided I wanted to do, I try and do that. In working through some of what I've been doing, and I talked about this yesterday too, some of it's very positive. I have, as of yesterday, come to a decision and come to a conclusion about what it is I'm going to try to do and how I'm going to approach it. Now, thinking about what I'm going to try and do and being able to maybe do it there's been a gap. Same as with the legs today. So, I have said, and I'm going to put this up on my website in a little bit this morning. I have said that I've been working on this science fiction story that includes martial arts. It is. I'm ready. I'm ready. The first 3 chapters are up on Buzzsprout and Spotify. Or excuse me, the first chapter. Excuse me, not the first. It's 3 segments that make up the first chapter. Not the first 3 chapters, just the first chapter. There's 3 parts that I recorded. It's up on Spotify. I'll put links up a little bit later. There's a link on my personal profile, terrymorgan.me, under Sci-Fi Story. Nice link, GoFundMe link to the Spotify recording and the text from part of that first chapter. With some illustrations that I created. There was some music that I'd like to use, but I don't have rights to use it, and if I'm going to promote this, if I'm going to do it, I have to have the rights. So it's going to be a long journey. I am excited that I now have a path forward that, if all goes well, the potential sponsors and support that may come from the effort that I'm making with this story, which has broad appeal. It's pretty much G-rated. I mean, there's no gratuitous violence. Nobody's having little backdoor. There's nothing going on. Nobody's. There's a lot of undercurrent, but there's nothing other than deep caring and genuine affection that shows up in the story. So, some of the themes, yeah, it's for adults, but if you're not an adult and you wanted to read it or you wanted to listen to it, it's perfectly fine. It's not intended for young people. It's intended for people who want to learn and have fun while you're doing it. All right, and so I'm going to be doing some other things with that in addition to what I'm doing in this class, and there is going to be, just like I just went through, there is going to be some crossover. Some of what I'm talking about in the book, I talk about Bagua quite a bit, talk about Tai Chi quite a bit. All of my characters are adept martial artists, so they practice. Feet about shoulder width apart, bend the knees, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, pull up through the center, shoulders down, pull up through the crown of the head, hands circle to the front, back around to both sides, up along the center line, reach out. Three times. Stretch up, elbows drop down, wrists, hands return to your sides. All right. In stirring the grass to seek the snake, we want to go down more than I just did. Okay, so what do we need to do? How can we develop that strength? Where does that strength, where does the holding strength for that need to be? I'm gonna go on this side. 1, 2, 3. I need to be able to hold here as I settle into this leg. I also need to hold across and up so that as I go lower, I'm not sitting on my leg. My hips are well supported so that my leg can move freely in the hip. That is harder to achieve. And we're going to start out, there's a couple ways to do this. Right? One is just, push, work for it. Yeah. Yeah, I could. The opportunity for injury, much greater than with the method that I'm going to show right now. Yep. So what I want to do, there's no help for that. What I want to do is pull my legs to my chest. All right, And it's easier with your feet up. Really, it is. Let it go. Second set, straighten the legs, hold the ankles, and now pull the legs to your chest. Not hard. Not hard. Keep your back on the floor. Back stays on the floor. Your tailbone stays down. The pull is through the legs, not through the hips. The hips stay flat on the floor. If your hip's coming up, mine was, release it, hold the hip, pull across the front of your abdomen, hold the hip to the floor. Pull hard and release it. Bring legs back down. Use your elbows to stretch through the lower back, and then press this entire area, so everything from the pelvic area up to underneath the ribs, paying particular attention to the points of the hip on either side. Press across like you've got one of those, and think about an x-ray blanket or a really heavy blanket that you've just draped across this entire section of your body. Press it to the floor. Hold it. Pull up and in through the tailbone. Keep the tailbone flat. Pull up through the spine. Hold this tight. Keep it flat. Now let it go. Do that one more time. Pull everything in and make it as tight as you possibly can. Smooth, not bunchy. That's why I was given that image of that an x-ray blanket, that lead blanket, or a really heavy blanket. It should feel like there's a weight pushing down, pushing your back, the back part of your hip, the lower part of your spine through the tailbone, flat onto the floor. Alright, there you go. Put that blanket back on and press. Hold it. Pull everything in and press down. You want to stick to the floor. Hold it. I'm focused right here. Everything else can move. It's all right. And let it go. All right. And come on up. All right. One up. Now what? Why? This stretch across the front, press down and in, gives on your back, right? Sets up a natural position for all of the muscles and all of the internal organs, so that if there is something that's a little bit out of alignment, you're leaning a little bit, you're doing this, you don't reinforce that misalignment during the exercise. Okay? And again, why do we care? Why do we want this part of the body to be able to hold up? Well, because if we want to go down, that's what has to happen. The idea that we can go up and down, and I'm going to pick nits here for a minute, on the leg. We can't. We have to be over the legs. The legs have to be under us, right? As we're moving. My legs under me, right? As I set, where's my leg? This one is where I can go. Can I get down here? Yeah, no. Right? I'm not quite open enough right here. Not quite. It's close. It's close. I can get there sorta. And I'm still not holding enough. There it goes. Right? That's the key. That being able to hold here. It's not entirely the leg. I'm going to go down for a second. Yep, not happening. Can I do this on the other side, maybe? No, not yet. I need to work on it. Alright, let's do that. Stirring the grass to seek the snake. 1, 2, 3, 4. As we settle, okay, pay attention to holding through the hip, keeping the back straight, hold this up, and set behind so that as you get stronger, you can go all the way down. Part of the strength has to come also in the small muscles that attach around the base of the hip. These are the groin muscles and the muscles that help to support the lower intestine, right? All of the gluteal muscles, all of the anal muscles, the perineum, everything has to pull in and up. That also supports opening the hip, because with all of that pulled in and up, now the leg is more open, can be more open, so that, you know, I'm trying again. I'm close. I'm close. I'm really close. I'm really close. I'm serious. I'm serious. What I'm going to talk about that for a second. What I'm doing is I'm holding my hip up. I am. I'm holding my hip up. I'm not allowing my hip to drop down. Why? I don't know. It's stuck there. I have to work on it. And I'm going to do that right now. You just saw me do, I did something. I'm going to talk about that for a second. I'm in talking mode this morning. That adjustment. So I tried to set myself down. Didn't happen. Got back up. As I was talking, I was actually making adjustments in my hip. I just did. Again. Those are small movements. They're small. change this, hold here, pull that, move this over, adjust that, hold this through the back, pull this down. Yeah, pull that up. Oh, okay, that's better. That's part of advanced work. Being able to, and this is something that I learned from my dance training, not from my Tai Chi training or it applies. It absolutely applies. The physiology and your ability to understand your own anatomy, how the muscles and tendons and ligaments work, which you can't understand unless you kind of know what they look like and kind of know where they are. My ability to pay attention to those muscles comes from my ability to visualize them. I did not do all of, I could go back, I understand the Latin. I could go back and develop a skill to be able to talk about the Latin things, and I could sound really important, and yeah, nobody'd listen. It's not about me being able to say it, it's about being able to find all of those places where something else needs to be adjusted, all of the small things. Being able to look for those, find them, and do something with them. Anatomy and physiology. Human anatomy and physiology is the same for humans. It is. Okay? There's male and there's female, but we're human. Okay? It's different than cat. Cat has a different physiology than we do. They do. Alright? I'd like to be able to jump like a cat. I would. In Tai Chi, we talk about moving like a cat. But it's not something that is how to say it? Being able to move like a cat doesn't mean that I'm going to have the anatomy of a cat, right? I have to know my own anatomy. And that was my point, is, how I move, how I'm able to move, what kinds of movements I'm able to do. The extent of those movements and how well or not I can control those movements depends on my own understanding of my anatomy and physiology. What am I doing? Nobody else can tell you. Nobody. I can't tell you. Well, actually I can. I can look at you, I can tell you. But, right? That's part of the learning process as well. All right. Stirring the grass to seek the snake. The start, turn to the left, open 1, 2, 3, over the sustaining leg, and with the idea that you want to not lean forward, that this sits, you have to sit back a little, right? That this will go further down. Yeah, one more time. Yeah, there we go. About here. I'm not going there today. It's not happening. Alright, that's hard. That's thighs parallel to the floor. Alright? That's the goal. Feet a little bit wider than shoulder width. Breathe in. And breathe out. turn to the left, and go 1, 2, 3, open, come back up, center, turn to the right, 1, 2, 3, open, come on back up, don't lean, turn, and turn again. Keep going. Pull up. Hold through the center. Don't worry about the leg. Let the leg do its own work. Hold the back. Push the hip to the heel. Two more. Don't lean. Careful where you set your foot. Last time. Center, breathe in, breathe out. Hands down along both sides, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there, breathe in, breathe out. Relax. Alright, this is not quiet Qigong this morning. Okay, this takes some effort, and the goal is to use that energy, to use that effort to further develop physical ability to go up and down. How do we do that? The hold is from here all the way across. The hips have to come up. This has to hold in and pull up so that there's space for the leg to move in the hip socket. Hold from the bottom. Seriously, hold from the bottom. Pull the tailbone comes in and up, all along the spine, perineum, the base of the torso, the scrotum, that area, depending on male or female, pulls up. Pulls in and up. As we sink down, the stronger we can keep this section of the body, the stronger we can make that effort to pull up, the easier it is to sink down. Coiling Snake. All right. Talked about this in connection with Wudang's 3 basic methods, that we have Coiling Snake in our Qigong, and we have Coiling Snake in Wudang's 3 basic methods. There are some differences. There are quite a few similarities. As I turn here, so that keep straight, pull up, right here. I can go a little bit further, but I'm not going to do it right now. Right, and then on the other side, same thing. Twist, stay straight, and come back up. That part is pretty much the same in Wudang's 3 basic methods. We take a step. In our Qigong, we just turn a little bit. Right? Here. And at the end, I'm also going to take a step. We don't have that in our Qigong set either. Okay? So as I come back up, center, turn to the other side. keeping shoulders over the hips, keep the hips slightly, again, slightly back, hold through the center so that you can go up and down. Wudang Qigong, Coiling Snake. Breathe in, breathe out. Turn to the left, pull up, twist, and come back to center. Keep the knees straight. Keep the supporting knees straight. Keep the hip on the twisting leg open. Do not point the knee to the ground. The knee tucks in behind. Yeah, lower than I thought I was going to be able to go. Coming back up is a problem. There we go. Hold through the back, hold through the hips. Look behind. Stay centered. Keep your heel. Keep your weight well sustained over your supporting leg heel. And don't push into the knee. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. 2 more. Left hand fingers looking for the left heel. Last time. Twist. Come up. And come on back up. Breathe in. Hands down on both sides, breathe out, pull up through the crown of the head, raise the heels and lower. Stay there, breathe in. Breathe out. Alright, relax. Alright. I had said that there was going to be maybe 3. I'm going to stop here for today. I have couple things that I'm looking at for what I'll be doing next. I had mentioned that there would be some attention paid to sword. And we're going to work on that probably a little bit next week. Mostly review. As I get this new series that I'm working on right now going, there will be some additional classes that I'm going to create that will include foundations for Tai Chi, for Bagua, for Xingyi. I also recognize, and I'm just going to say this because I'm here and I'm going to say it, I recognize that the way that I have created a lot of the videos that I have makes them less than accessible. Some of the information, it's just not it's not well organized. And yeah, here I am, we're practicing. That's what it's been. That was always my intent. I didn't script. I had some plans, but I didn't script anything to be this one thing or that one thing. And there are some of the videos that they could be tagged way better. I could put some information there that would make it a whole lot easier to find. I need to work on that. I'm thinking about how to address that question and a couple of more questions. I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, that I will have something of a solution by Monday. That's the plan. I'm close enough now. I think I've got the right ideas, so wish me luck. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who has followed me and continues to follow me. I wouldn't be here without y'all. Thank you. Monday. I'll be back Monday.